Hello, my name is Annalisia Gustin, and I'm here with Annalisia Gustin, a college student working at Ball State, working for a degree in special education. And today we're going to get familiar with what it's like to be her. How are you doing today, Anna?
I'm doing really well, thanks for asking.
When did you first consider a job in teaching special education?
I first considered teaching special ed when I was probably around 8 years old. My mom was actually an educator first, and I kind of accompanied her to special ed rooms, and I kind of just fell in love with teaching that subject through her, so when I was younger.
Did you have any other careers in mind?
Honestly, no. I did always want to work in a school. I think that probably the subject I would have taught or the type of education I would administer would have been different. I thought about being like an English teacher for a while, but special ed is where my heart is at, so.
Did you have to go to college to do this?
Yes, you absolutely have to go to 4 years of college and get a teaching degree. For special education, it's also really important to do practicum hours, which is in-person work with individuals who have disabilities. Without doing that, you can't properly be a special ed teacher. There are positions in a classroom that student aides could be a part of that you don't necessarily need a degree to do. However, you probably should get a degree to be a teacher.
Why did you choose to go to Ball State?
I chose Ball State because it's a teacher's college. A lot of educators go there to get a good degree. It's also a wonderful program, as far as their special education umbrella goes. They have really great things to offer with the different age levels and the different programs. So it's a great school for that.
What would you say are some of the challenges/advantages of going to college?
Definitely there are challenges. It's really new, trying to adjust to a whole new environment, and particularly with going to Ball State, the platforms that they use to give assignments and everything is really different than what I was used to. So that was an adjustment that was kind of difficult for me. Some great things about going to college are there's lots of newfound freedoms as far as exploring your career goes. I've been given so many opportunities to work with behavioral clinics and stuff around Muncie because it's just such a viable place there, so it's really great.
Did you have a job in high school, and did you keep it going into college?
I did have a job in high school. I worked at a homeless shelter and a thrift store. All the profits from the thrift store go to the homeless shelter, and it's a non-for-profit organization. It was a really wonderful experience there, and it kind of helped me continue to give back and connect with people in a community, which is kind of why I also special education. So it was a really great job to have, and I do still have it, and I'm actually going there today.
So you'd say that this job helped you prepare for going into this career so far?
Yes, very much so. It's gotten me really acquainted with community outreach and how to build relationships like that.
When you graduate, is there a specific school you're looking to work into?
Not necessarily. It would always be fun to come back to my hometown and work with people that I had already built relationships with. But I would be open to working in any school corporation.
What were some of the classes, I know you went to Greenfield Central High School, what were some classes in here that helped you prepare or know what career you wanted to do?
A very obvious course that I took in GC was the peer tutoring. It was an elective, and I could go into the special education room and work one-on-one with students who had disabilities. That's a great opportunity that GC offers students, and then you can actually only do that for a semester. So after I completed that round of peer tutoring, I went back into the special ed room and cadetted for the teachers, which was also a wonderful experience and really taught me the real teacher duties that they have to do, watching them just do their jobs. So it was a really wonderful experience.
Would you say any specific teachers at GC helped you the most?
Yeah, I think that the main team of special educators here are really great. I specifically was a peer tutor during Miss Major's classroom. She taught, I believe, English language arts. I'm not too sure, but she had a really great practice, and she would often sign to her kids and just try to incorporate as much inclusivity into the classroom, which was really important for me. So I really model off her.
For anyone else who's looking for a career in that, what classes would you suggest?
Probably classes that get you acquainted with your peers, working with kids your age and also kids that you maybe wouldn't necessarily expect yourself to work with, going into special ed rooms and like getting yourself familiar with those different ways of how classrooms can function are really important. So doing things like that in general are good.
What would you say are some challenges working in the special education classroom versus standard education?
In a special education classroom, there's often a lot more, I guess, like hectic behaviors that you'll see. Usually in a gen ed class, like a general education, there's only like one teacher and then 20, 30 kids that she's instructing, he or she. And in GC's example, there are 3 lead teachers all in one classroom or multiple classrooms working on a smaller grouping of students. By doing that, it makes sure that each of those kids are completely entitled and receiving like a fair education, because that's how everyone should get. So yeah, that's really the main differences, is like the ratio to students and teachers.
What would you say is the most important part of working in a classroom?
I would say keeping in mind like your reason for being there. Like I just said, giving all of your children in your classroom like a fair and equal education. Like that's very important, and to be a good teacher and to really like connect with your special education students, you need to be constantly keeping in mind their priorities and their goals and how you can work with them to achieve those.
What age range would you say you enjoy working with the most?
I personally really enjoyed my experiences with the high school students, so I prefer working with individuals who are of an older age. However, I did childcare for much younger kids a lot, and that was fun too. So I don't have like a huge age preference, but experience-wise, probably older people.
Outside of work, are there any extra things you enjoy to do in your free time? Any clubs you're in at college or anything?
Yes, I'm actually in Best Buddies, which is quite acquainted to my career field. It is involving like working with people in your local communities who have disabilities. There's a Best Buddies chapter and program at GC that is really great, and that kind of helped me carry it over into Ball State. So that's the main club I'm involved in there.
What made you want to try out teaching besides like going in and watching your mom do teaching? Were there like any specific people that sort of pushed you to do it?
Yeah, I don't know if there are any specific like people or teachers that are coming to my head, but I did always feel really connected to a classroom, and like I liked going to school, and like I really enjoyed building bonds with my teachers and learning, and like just being active in a classroom was always really appealing to me, and like yeah, going to school was fun, so I wanted to do that in my career as well.
What is some advice you give to graduating seniors also going to college for this?
Probably just be sure in yourself and know that like college is difficult for everyone, and that is part of the process, but you were able to get through 4 years of high school, you're probably able to get through 4 years of college. Just know what you're able to do and don't overstrain yourself.
Would you suggest Ball State to anyone else working this career, or were there other like colleges that you looked at that you thought maybe also had a good program?
I think that Ball State is a great school to explore education, specifically special education. Like I said, they have a great umbrella of majors like that are applicable to special education. Other schools that are great, I applied to many and like really had a lot of different options. But Ball State, they probably have the best special education program out of the schools local to us.
If you were to work in like standard education, what subject would you teach?
I would probably teach English, just because that was my kind of my backup plan, I guess. But yeah, I just really like literature, and like analyzing text was always really interesting to me in my actual English classes. So I feel like I would find joy in that teaching subject as well.
When teaching special education, is there a specific subject that you teach, or do you just have to sort of encompass everything?
Yeah, special education is really kind of different than normal classroom, because you may see one teacher being specialized in like English language arts, like I was saying, or like history or something, and then students will move classrooms and move teachers. But in a special ed classroom, one teacher has to be accustomed to multiple subjects, and often teachers will move classrooms to like match with the students. So for example, when I peer tutored, like my class that I was in was an English class, but also Miss Majors, I believe, taught like geography and social studies. So she taught multiple subjects for the same students. So that is kind of different.
That's all the time we have for today. I would like to thank Anna for coming in and thank you for watching.